All right, so you know how it is. You've booked the flights, you're daydreaming about beaches and mountains, and then that little voice pops up. Like, wait, what about scams?
Yeah, it's so true.
So today we are diving deep into travel scams exposed. This guide is going to give us all the tools we need to outsmart even the slickest con artists out there.
It's crazy how these scams really hook into what makes travel so exciting. You know, that feeling of adventure going somewhere new.
Yeah,
But that also makes you vulnerable. When you're excited, tired, overwhelmed.
exactly.
Oh,
So
yeah.
right away, this guide points out the huge variety of scams out there. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Right.
From those classic taxi tricks to like full-on schemes with fake police,
Yeah.
it seems like anyone can be a target.
And that's the point. Awareness is key.
Okay.
Scammers, they want to catch you off guard, when you're distracted or not sure what's going on.
So let's break down some of the most common traps. Starting with one I think we've all heard about, the overpriced taxi.
Hmm.
You land in a new country, it's late, you're tired, all you want is to get to your hotel.
Prime time.
Yeah, and the guide talks about drivers taking these crazy scenic routes to jack up the fare, or the meter's suddenly broken. Then they demand cash or big bills.
Happens all the time. It's about knowing that in those moments when you just want to get there, that's when they strike.
So how do we avoid this?
Negotiate the fare up front, especially if the meter seems off. And honestly, with ride-hailing apps, you're often safer because the price is set before you even get in the car.
Smart. Okay, next up. A scam that targets our excitement for those must-see attractions. The fake ticket scam. You think you got a deal on those skip-the-line tickets, but then you get turned away at the gate.
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah.
Especially when you're with family or friends. It's that urgency, I just want to get in. And deals always sound better when you're surrounded by huge crowds.
So is the answer just sticking to the official ticket booths?
Buying directly from the attraction is always a good bet. But there are legit online sellers, too. Do your research. Look for authorized sellers. Read reviews. Be wary of prices that seem too good to be true.
That's true. It's like buying anything online. You got to be careful.
Exactly. Now, this one's more subtle. It plays on social dynamics. The free bracelet scam. You're walking through a market, and someone all friendly offers you a bracelet as a gift.
Oh, I can totally picture this. They try to tie it on your wrist before you can even say anything,
Hmm.
and it feels rude to refuse, right?
Especially in a new culture. You don't want to be offensive.
Yeah, so what happens? They suddenly demand payment for the gift.
Exactly. And they can get aggressive. It's not just about the money either. They use that distraction to pickpocket you while you're arguing.
Wow, double trouble. So be firm but polite. Decline any unsolicited gifts, no matter how friendly they seem.
Absolutely.
Now, this one preys on us wanting to be helpful, especially in a new place. The closed attraction scam.
Classic. This
Right.
one's like a bait and switch.
So you're all excited to see something.
Yeah.
But a helpful local tells you it's closed renovations or some made-up reason.
Right. Then they steer you toward a much better place, which usually isn't.
Ugh. So they're not just taking your money, they're wasting your precious vacation time.
Double whammy.
Yeah.
It's easy to fall for this when you're trying to be polite, but always double check the info yourself. A quick search on your phone can save you a lot of hassle.
That's such a good point. Okay, this one sounds a bit intimidating. The fake police scam.
Yeah, this one can be scary, especially when you're not familiar with the local laws. People posing as police, often in plain clothes. They want to see your passport or search your stuff.
The guide even says they'll claim to be looking for counterfeit money and ask to check your wallet.
Bold move. It's all about making you panic, making you act without thinking.
So what should you do? Just do what they say.
No way. Always ask for ID. Real police won't mind showing their badges, and they won't pressure you to hand over your things.
Okay, good to know. And what if you're still not sure?
Offer to go to the nearest police station to verify their identity. The real deal will be fine with that. Scammers won't.
That makes sense.
Okay.
This one seems to target people when they're already feeling a bit lost. The helpful ATM guide.
Oh, yeah. They love those moments of uncertainty, especially at a foreign ATM with instructions you can't read.
You're fumbling with your card trying to figure things out, and then this helpful person appears.
Right. But they're not there to help. They want your card info, or even to switch your card for a fake one. The guide calls it card switching. It's kind of like a magic trick.
Oh, sneaky.
Just be extra cautious at ATMs. Cover your PIN. Don't take help from anyone.
Yeah.
And make sure you get your card back safely.
Okay, good advice. I think a lot of people would feel awkward refusing help, but it's really better to be safe.
Absolutely. Now, this one's not dangerous, but it's definitely annoying. The restaurant menu scam. You sit down at a place that looks amazing.
And then you realize there are no prices on the menu.
Or they bring you bread and water you didn't order, and suddenly the bill is insane.
Ugh, I hate that. They know tourists might not want to make a fuss.
Exactly. Ask for prices up front, especially for anything that seems free. If something feels off, walk away.
Good advice. No one wants to be tricked into paying a fortune for a simple meal.
Okay, now let's talk about the fake tour guide scam. They prey on that desire to experience everything a place has to offer.
Oh, I've seen them. They hang around tourist spots, super persistent, promising these amazing tours at bargain prices.
And they pressure you hard. You'll miss out if you don't book right now.
That fear of missing out gets us every time.
And then once you're on the tour, the extra charges start piling up. Hidden fees, inflated prices, pressure to buy souvenirs. It's like they're holding your vacation hostage.
So annoying. Stick to reputable tour operators. Book through official websites. Get recommendations. Read reviews.
And if someone on the street approaches you, just say no thank you firmly and move on.
Don't let them ruin your sightseeing. All right, last one for this part. A scam that's almost funny in how simple it is. The dropped ring scam.
This one's a classic. You're walking along and someone finds a ring. They ask if it's yours. Of course you say no.
And then they offer to sell it to you for a great price.
Right. They might even say it's real gold or a precious gem, playing on that desire for a bargain.
It's funny how it plays on our good intentions, too.
Yeah.
Like, we want to help them out.
That valuable ring is always a cheap fake. Just walk away. Don't engage. Don't argue. Just keep moving.
So sometimes the best way to avoid a scam is to just not play the game.
Exactly.
Wow, we've uncovered a lot of scams already. Seems like these con artists are pretty creative.
They are. But you know what? This is already making me feel more prepared for my next trip.
Me too. Knowledge is power.
Absolutely. We've only scratched the surface of travel scams exposed, though. Stay tuned, because we've got plenty more tricks to expose and tips to share in the next part. It's amazing how many of these scams use distraction to throw you off balance, make you act without thinking.
Yeah, they overload your senses, so you don't have time to question what's happening.
Exactly. That's why staying calm is so important, even when you feel pressured or rushed. Take a moment to think before reacting.
Don't let them control you.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of pressure, let's talk about a scam that plays on our good nature. The spilled drink or mustard stain scam.
Oh yeah, this one's a classic misdirection trick. You're walking down the street enjoying the sights, and bam! Someone bumps into you accidentally, spills a drink, or squirts mustard on your clothes.
And while you're cleaning up, their accomplice is picking your pocket.
Exactly. It happens so fast you don't even realize you've been robbed until it's too late.
So sneaky. It's a good reminder to be aware of your surroundings, especially in crowds. And if someone bumps into you, even if it seems like an accident, check your stuff.
Better safe than sorry. Now this one targets our love of a good deal, the fake gem or antique scam.
Oh, this one sounds interesting. Like those stories about people finding hidden treasures.
It plays on that hope. You might see this in markets or even in shops that look legit. The scammer offers you what they say are precious gems or valuable antiques at crazy low prices.
It's too good to be true.
Right. They might even tell you a sob story about needing to sell quickly to make it even more tempting.
But those gems are probably just glass or worthless stones.
Exactly. And the antiques are just modern fakes. You end up paying a lot for something that's worthless.
What a bummer. It's a good reminder to be careful when buying anything that seems too good to be true, especially if the seller is really laying it on thick.
Always do your research. If you're thinking about buying something valuable, get a second opinion from an expert before you spend any money. Remember, if you're not sure, just walk away. Okay, now this one is a bit more personal. The friendship scam. This one feels kind of sneaky.
Definitely. It's one thing to have your money stolen, but it's worse to have your trust betrayed. So how does this one usually work?
It starts with someone being super friendly. Maybe they strike up conversations, offer to show you around, invite you to dinner. They might even introduce you to their family. You start to feel like you've made a real connection.
It's like they're setting you up.
Exactly. Once they've gained your trust, they might ask for a loan or say they need money for an emergency or even try to get you involved in some shady business deal.
That's awful. It plays on our natural instinct to want to help people, especially when we're in a new place.
It's important to remember, be careful about sharing personal info or getting involved in anything that feels risky. Trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is.
Okay, let's move on to a scam that can really mess up your travel plans. The fake accommodation scam. This one sounds stressful.
This one's getting more common with online booking. You find what seems like an amazing deal on a hotel or vacation rental online, but when you get there, the place either doesn't exist or it's way worse than the pictures.
That's a nightmare. You're stuck in a foreign country with nowhere to stay.
To avoid this, Stick to reputable websites. Read reviews carefully. Look out for listings with reviews that sound fake, or those with very little contact info for the owner.
So do your homework.
Exactly. And if you have any doubts, contact the property directly before you arrive, just to be sure. Okay. Now let's talk about the timeshare scam. I'm sure you've heard about this one.
Oh yeah, the classic high-pressure sales pitch.
They lure you in with promises of free vacations or discounts, but really they just want you to sit through a long presentation about timeshares.
And those salespeople can be relentless.
They're pros. They use all sorts of tricks to make you feel like you have to buy something. But remember, you don't have to buy anything, no matter how much pressure they put on you.
So even if it sounds amazing, just say no thanks and walk away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's your vacation. You should enjoy it. Don't let anyone pressure you into buying something you don't want. Okay, now this one's a bit more subtle. The currency exchange scam. They target travelers who might not know the local currency very well.
Right. So they might offer you a good exchange rate.
Yeah, but then they sneak in hidden fees or commissions that eat away at the amount you actually get.
So you end up losing money.
Exactly.
Right.
To avoid this, stick to banks or official exchange bureaus, and always check the final amount you're getting before you hand over your money.
It's like counting your change. You got to be careful.
Absolutely. Okay. Now let's talk about a scam that's becoming more and more common as we rely more on staying connected. The Wi-Fi scam.
Wi-Fi. How can Wi-Fi be a scam?
Oh.
It seems like such a basic thing these days.
Scammers are getting creative. They set up fake Wi-Fi hotspots with names that sound real, like a nearby cafe or hotel.
So you connect thinking it's safe.
But it's a trap. When you connect to these fake hotspots, hackers can steal your data, your passwords, your online banking info. It's scary stuff.
Okay, that is scary. So be careful about connecting to public Wi-Fi, especially if there's no password.
Use a VPN for extra security. And avoid doing any sensitive stuff like online banking while you're on public Wi-Fi. Okay, now this one can really ruin your trip. The baggage scam. It's the worst. You're already stressed about traveling, and then you have to worry about your bags.
Yeah, it just adds to the stress.
Scammers might pretend to be airport staff, offering to help with your bags, but then they disappear with them. Or they might mess with your bags, stealing stuff, or even planting illegal things.
Awful. It makes you feel so vulnerable, especially in a busy airport or train station.
Keep a close eye on your stuff. Be wary of anyone who's too eager to help you with your bags.
So handle your own bags and politely decline any offers of help.
Exactly. Remember, a little awareness can go a long way. We've covered a lot in this part. It's clear these scammers are always coming up with new tricks.
It's like a constant battle. But luckily, we're learning how to fight back. What else does this guide have for us?
You know, it's crazy how scammers can turn even the simplest things into a trap.
Yeah.
Like just asking for directions.
Yeah, you just assume people are trying to be helpful, especially when you're in a new place and feeling a bit lost. Speaking of feeling lost, let's talk about the fake directions scam.
It totally plays on that feeling of being lost. You're in a new city map in hand, looking confused, and suddenly this helpful local appears, offering to show you the way.
But instead of leading you to where you want to go, they take you on a detour.
Exactly. And that detour usually leads to a shop or a restaurant, someplace where they get a commission for bringing in customers.
So you end up wasting time and maybe even money at a place you didn't even want to go to.
And sometimes those detours can be dangerous. They might lead you to a secluded area where their buddies are waiting to rob you.
Okay, now that's scary. Be careful about who you trust for directions, especially if they seem too eager to take you off the main roads.
Always double-check directions. Use a mapping app. Ask for help from your hotel or tourist info center. Okay, now this one can really hurt the phony injury scam. It's like they're using your compassion against you. They pretend to be injured in public. Maybe they fall down in front of you, clutching their leg or arm, crying out in pain.
Oh, wow, that would be so distracting and upsetting.
Right. And while you're focused on that, their partners are picking your pocket or grabbing your bags. It's all planned out.
So what do? Ignore them and hope they're okay.
Of course not. You gotta be helpful, but also cautious. Assess the situation. If you can call for help or alert the authorities, don't try to handle it yourself.
Good point. Be helpful, but stay safe.
Mm.
Okay, this next one hits close to home for me as a photographer. The broken camera scam. Tell me about this one.
This one targets tourists who love taking pictures. You ask someone to take your photo, and they accidentally drop your camera or phone.
Oh, man. Every photographer's nightmare.
Yeah.
Your device is broken and you've lost all those precious photos.
They act super sorry and offer to pay for the damage, but then they demand way more money than it would actually cost to fix it.
I think they're holding your memories hostage.
Right. So be careful about who you ask to take your picture. Use a selfie stick if you can, or a tripod. And if you have to ask a stranger, watch them carefully before you hand over your camera.
Good tips. Okay, let's talk about ride-hailing services.
Hmm.
I know a lot of people use them when they travel, but there are scams there too.
Definitely. With more and more people using ride-hailing apps, scammers have figured out ways to exploit them, like the fake ride-hailing app scam.
But there are fake apps out there?
Oh yeah, they look just like the real ones, same
Yeah.
name, same
Yeah.
logo, but they're designed to trick you.
And what happens if you use one of these fake apps?
They might overcharge you, steal your credit card info, or even connect you with drivers who aren't licensed, and could be dangerous.
That's terrifying.
Sure.
How can you tell if an app is the real deal?
Always download apps from the official app stores, look at the developer info, be wary of apps that look poorly designed, or ask for too many permissions.
And if something feels wrong about the app or the driver, trust your gut and find another way to get where you're going. Okay, last one. And this one sounds like it can really ruin your whole trip. The fake travel agency scam.
This one is heartbreaking. They set up fake agencies online, offering amazing deals on flights, hotels, vacation packages.
You think you're getting a steal?
But when you arrive, your reservations are gone. The flights were never booked. The hotel is a dump. You're stranded with no place to stay and no money.
That's awful. So be so careful when booking travel online.
Always book through reputable agencies. Check online reviews, make sure they're legit. Don't trust agencies that pressure you to book right away or offer deals that seem too good to be true.
So it's worth it to spend a little more to book with a company you trust.
Absolutely. Well, we've covered a lot in this deep dive into travel scams exposed. We've seen how scammers try to trick travelers, from basic taxi scams to these elaborate schemes with fake police and phony travel agencies.
It can be overwhelming, but honestly, I feel so much more aware and prepared after learning about all this. Knowledge is power, right?
That's exactly it. We don't want to scare you away from traveling. We want to give you the tools to stay safe and enjoy your trips. Remember, a little vigilance goes a long way.
So don't let fear stop you from seeing the world. Be informed. Be aware. Trust your instincts. And if something feels wrong, it probably is.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into travel scams exposed. We hope you found it helpful and maybe even a little bit entertaining. Remember, travel is about new experiences, connecting with different cultures, making memories. Don't let the fear of scams stop you from exploring. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and keep exploring.